Okay, so quiz 3, problem number 4. The problem is, given the following data, construct and interpret a 95% confidence interval for the mean. The data set we're given is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's just numbers 1 through 10. And so we're first going to establish, just as we do our work, what we need to know, which is that we're looking for a 95% confidence interval and that n equals 10. So step 1 is just finding the mean and standard deviation. So the first thing you do, we're going to add the data set that we have, numbers 1 through 10, and divide it by 10 to find the mean. And we work this out, that comes to 5.5. So then the next step would be to find the standard deviation, and this is going to be a little bit bigger of a process. We're going to basically take each one of these values and subtract the mean that we've found for the entire data set as a whole, and then square it. And so when we do this with each of those, you can see we get our values here. We're going to add all of those and we get 80.5, and now we're going to have to divide that by n minus 1, which is 10 minus 1, which is 9, and we work that out, that comes in 9.167. So then we're going to have to take the square root of 9.167, which equals 3.02, and we know that 3.02 is our sampling standard deviation. So step 2 is to find the confidence interval. So we have the formula x hat plus or minus t alpha over 2 times, in parentheses, s, which is the sampling standard deviation, over the square root of n. So first we need to find this value right here, t alpha over 2. So since we have a 95% confidence interval rate, we know that alpha is 5. So we have t times 5 over 2. And then that simplifies to t times 2.5%. So then we also know that the degree of freedom is something that we also have to find, is equal to n minus 1, which is 10 minus 1 in our scenario, which equals 9. So then we have to find this on the z table, and we know the degree of freedom is 9, so we look right here at 9, and then we know that we have that 2.5% that we got right here. So then we match those two, and then that gives us right here 2.262. So then we go back and we know that t alpha over 2 equals 2.262. So now we have to find the lower and upper bounds, and so we've now found all of the numbers we need to work these out. So for the first one, the lower bound, we have 5.5 minus 2.262 times 3.02 divided by square root 10, and this gives us 3.3397. And then we're going to find the upper bound, which essentially is the same thing except we're using addition instead of subtraction. And so we have 5.5 plus 2.262 times 3.02 divided by 10, and that works out to 7.66. So the final step is to determine our interval, which is basically just a range of numbers, and it's a range between these two numbers, and it's presented the same way as like coordinates on a graph. So the interval is 3.3397, comma 7.66.